This region around the Great Lakes has been called the heartland. When it comes to agriculture, there's hardly an area in the world that compares.
Everybody, just hold on. I don't know what we're going to have here.
There's a lot of self-proclaimed geniuses out there that know the national yield, but they're all wrong.
Manage money, piling in.
Double digits higher.
So at this point, we're in kind of uncharted territory.
There's a lot of money on the sidelines.
So that was a crazy one.
That's what brings the viewers back. That a boy.
Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday, May 28th, and this is the AgYield War Room. Dan Dempsey will be moderating today's session. As always, if you get any questions or comments, please feel free to drop us a line in the chat area. I'll be sure to get to it during the show. Overnight markets here had July corn up 3 1/4 at 455 3/4. July soybeans were up 7 at 11.92 1/4, and July Chicago wheat was up 2 3/4 at 625 1/4. No export sales announcements here this morning. Also, weekly sales are pushed to tomorrow. Those will be out at 7:30 Central tomorrow morning. Pushed back a day because of Monday's holiday. We'll jump right in here, guys. Good morning. Pretty hostile overnight in Iran. We got Kuwait shooting down some bombs. We've got drones getting bombed. So a pretty volatile ceasefire, if you ask me. But Dustin, maybe kick us off with a few thoughts here. I know it's seemingly like Groundhog Day. We got crude up a couple bucks here. But maybe share a few thoughts and then we'll throw around the room.
Yeah, good morning, Dan. Yeah, obviously there's been a lot of holdback since the ceasefire began. Trump had threatened a few times to take out, their energy infrastructure, but there's been a lot of restraint. And so I think it's hard to read between the lines here of what's happening, but it does sound like there's still some hardliners that are hard to come to an agreement with. And we continue to get some, fake information. I think there's an Iranian announcement yesterday that there was a deal struck and Hormuz is open, and that they would have control over it and no mention of uranium, which Trump shot down yesterday as a red line, like no deal without the uranium. So crude oil briefly dipped down into the 80s, and now we're back into the 90s to start the day. And I think corn's following that. This is a very critical spot for corn, wheat, beans to try to hold some support if it's going to. The growing season is off. We're going to quickly come toward that time frame where we'll start getting pollination window forecast. The chart of corn, though, it did settle below its trend line yesterday. Overnight, we've gone back up to it on this crude rebound. There's a lot of longs, right? Managed money longs are over 1.5 billion bushels coming into this week. So if there's momentum here where you start to see that 50-day turn down and we significantly break below the trend line, whatever that news is, good weather, that crude oil kind of coming back down into the 80s or 70s even, those would be the things I'd probably be worried about. But for this week, especially with the headlines, the change of headlines over the last 24 hours where we don't have a deal and the odds for, the Strait to go back to normal traffic have all gone down quite a bit in the last few days. I'd be curious to see if corn tries to hold that line again as more of a false breakout and see if we can't get corn back into that range near $5 again.
Yeah, Justin, anything to add there? Thoughts this morning?
Yeah, not really. Not really. It is kind of Groundhog Day, and I think there's just market exhaustion. I will say I was back at our farm. Corn's really starting to shoot up with these temperatures, as we talked about last week. The weather's good. It's going to be a tough long. So, can we get, I think these back and forth with Iran, it reminds me a little bit of the Ukraine war. Like you traded it once, you traded it twice, you traded it 20 times. Mm-hmm. At some point you just get exhausted by it. And I think there has to be another thing to take us higher from here, or just to Dustin's point, stop us from breaking. I think the weather's too good. farmers are seeing corn come up, beans come up, things looking nice. Maybe I should sell some stuff. I think, and to, be fair, we're at prices we haven't seen for quite a while on today's date after planting, upper 4s to low 5s. So I think you're going to have just a lot of overhead pressure for now, unless, weather turns, and that's going to be a while. And I don't know what turns means. Like if it has to be hot and dry for extended period of time, et cetera, et cetera. So, I'm not necessarily bearish. I guess I'm probably more bearish short term. And I think there might be some friendly stuff out forward, as we've talked about feels like for a long time on this show.
Months.
And I think it was said a lot of times, like for people that wanted to get sold or hedged or protected, had lots of opportunities. And, maybe you get some people that didn't take those opportunities and feel like they have to sell a break here. And it's still probably a pretty good price. So I don't know what takes us to new highs from here right now, I guess is my point. And I don't see a good reason for it to collapse either. So I would say corn between $4.70 and $5 is probably a range for a while until you get a good idea on pollination window and real weather.
Yeah, interesting too to see yesterday, Justin, that they're going to have USMCA talks in the next couple weeks without Canada. So really just looks like a deal between Mexico and the United States at this point.
Yeah. And Canada's been a good partner, or not Canada, but I mean, Mexico's been a good partner recently, and I think that's just Trump's MO, is if you're not going to play, then he won't do deals with you. So I don't know what that means.
No,
at all. Yeah.
A lot of posturing.
I don't, it's a whole, don't want to really get into that because I don't know. So.
Yeah. Very good, Ryland. Let's shift over to livestock here for a minute. Nice pop yesterday in cattle, and cutout got hogs going a little bit. We got a $2 rally, which is welcome to see. So I want you to share a few thoughts this morning.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the bounce back was pretty much led by feeders, but it looks like we kind of shook off most of the, I think, implications from the cattle on feed report. Obviously, time will tell. Still kind of feels like it's a longer term situation, but right now all the focus is really going to be on cash, and we haven't seen any just yet. I think the expectation is still for 260 to 265 trade, although we have this significant discount on the board right now. So it's a very, very wide basis. Would expect that to kind of narrow up a little bit. I think what's going on in the outside markets may kind of dictate at least the early direction right now. Crude market back up, stock market down. So I think overall, maybe you got a little bit of concern kind of early on, but we'll see. I mean, cash expectations are still pretty firm this week overall. And on the hog side of things, finally saw some short covering. I mean, open interest was down 7,300 contracts. July was up $2. Bellies leading the charge, even though cutout was just a little bit lower. Bellies up another $1.20. So right here, it just kind of feels like we need to see more of that consistency in some of the bigger primals right now, just to really get the market a little bit excited. But so far, we just haven't seen a lot of seasonal demand really come back. This is typically the week for the restock, where retailers typically support prices here, and we are seeing that right now. We just need to see some follow through getting into next week. So I think you're going to get a little bit of cautious optimism going into the tail end of the week. See if that's still going to continue. So just more focus on cash and mainly carcass at this point.
Very good. Appreciate the update there, right? Again, we will get weekly export sales tomorrow morning, 7:30 Central. We'll take a look at those and visit about that in the war room. Also, it is Fun Fact Friday tomorrow, so Brian will be back with everybody's favorite segment. Be sure to tune in. You never know what you're going to get there as well. In the description section, check out the war room report. Premium content. We'll put out special reports, reactions to USDA reports, and just a deeper dive into the things we talk about every morning here on the War Room. So be sure to check that out. Also, a portion of those subscription Fees will go directly to support the AgYield NextGen Foundation, which of course puts on our national scholarship competition. We just awarded five scholarships here nationally in the last couple weeks. So a very good cause. Check that out. Appreciate everybody that tunes in on a daily basis. If you wouldn't mind, throw us a like and certainly subscribe. We're doing this every day that the markets are open on X, Facebook Live, and YouTube Live at 8:15 Central Time. Appreciate the thoughts and comments here this morning, guys. It was a good show. Hope everybody has a great day, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
The War Room is presented by AgYield, a risk management partner of American grain farmers for over 50 years. Looking for more in-depth analysis? Check out the War Room Report. Our team's knowledge and expertise delivered straight to your inbox every weekday. Each report delivers key market-moving headlines, critical weather updates, USDA report breakdowns, and exclusive video content, all for $50 a month. And most importantly, 10% of every subscription will go directly to support the AgYield NextGen Foundation, a nonprofit investing in agricultural education and the future of farming. To sign up for the War Room Report, check out the link in the description or learn more at agyield.com.
Hey guys, Jack here. Be sure to support the show by hitting the like button, leaving us a comment, and subscribing to the channel for all the latest updates. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.